How do I get sponsors? What should I do? If you want to pull them in, pull them in. How do you do that? You have to be crazy about it. But when I say crazy, I mean you have to go after people relentlessly. That's what it means to be crazy in Atomy at the first stage. Anyway, it means you're meeting people. Among my partners, the most active ones are in Korea and New Zealand, and what I realized while watching New Zealand is this. The standard of living there is high. At first, I also wondered, how much is the basic cost of living? Is it around 2 or 3 million? That's what I thought, but it turned out to be higher, much higher than Korea. So then, what are those people lacking or missing? And even though the country has good welfare, why do they work so hard? There must be something fun or interesting about it. But what I felt while observing New Zealand is that in the end, when people meet, incidents happen and things come up. So even in New Zealand, even though it's a welfare state, things are going well and the country is prosperous. In the end, as the leader keeps meeting people and working in the field, what happens? It means that things are moving forward. So what do you think would happen in Korea? Korea has a good environment, right? The system is good too, right? And everything is close by. Plus, this is the headquarters. So even though we have such great conditions, if we expect too much, things just won't work out. I need to first build a solid foundation myself and approach this with an entrepreneurial mindset. Thank you. If you think I should get help from my sponsor for this, then your sponsor will start to weigh things too. They'll think, from what I see, this isn't so great. The sales are a bit weak. The way they're bringing in people isn't that impressive. You end up sizing each other up. But what I dislike the most is when people start calculating like that. If you just keep doing your part, how can you make it so that your sponsor naturally wants to help you? You have to be passionate about it. I was able to attract my sponsor because I was so passionate myself. Do you understand? And now, let me tell you about a mistake I made in the early days. My own experience. While working with Atomy, I've come across so many talented people that it would be a shame to lose. I've talked about this with some people in Indonesia and a few others, but there's someone I've never mentioned before. Since my profession is a singer, I have some connections. Do you know Lotta Tower in Jamsil? You know, the building with 123 floors? I had an opportunity to promote Atomy on the third floor there. That was back in 2000, trying to promote Atomy as much as I could. They said buyers were coming from overseas. Where was that person from again? A buyer from Dubai was coming and they said that if they liked our products, they would buy them. But I went there to promote Atomy, and at that time, I paid all the participation fees myself. But since I had some connections, I actually got to go for free. I went with my partner, but that was when I had just started out. Looking back now, I realize I wasn't really actively running the business yet. My partner, and also had the last name Choi, was actually involved in another network marketing company to them. I decided to help them, and that's when I started to get interested as well. So together with that person, we did the Go 100. But looking back now, my mistake was that I thought it was a business about selling. Because let's say a foreign buyer comes and buys Atomy products. What are you supposed to do, right? What are you supposed to do? Looking back now, selling a huge amount of that. Would the company see that in a positive light? Or wouldn't they find it suspicious? I also thought Atomy was a business about selling. That's why having a good leader is so important. And back then, I was just about to sign up, right? But rather than focusing on selling, I was more focused on registering memberships because I had attended the training, after all. So I started signing people up as members. Let me draw it out for you. I'm telling you this because it's something everyone goes through. That person was under me, right? So the two of us worked really hard to reach 1 million points, promoting and all that. Even though those were new connections for that person, they gained those branches through me. But in the end, what does it all mean? That's my left side partner. In the end, my partner has to make money to stay and keep working, right? But now a new person wants to sign up. So this person, A, wanted to place them on their right side. So should I let them? Or should I not? If it were my situation now, I would definitely let them. Of course, I would have said you should definitely let them join here. But back then what I said was, oh, at that time we had the same last name, Choi, so I called her aunt, and all that. We had just started, and I said, Aunt, no. I told her, you need to grow this side more, and place them on the left side. So suddenly I can't forget it. Her expression didn't look good. But at the time, I didn't even know why she was upset. I was putting someone under her, so why would she dislike it? That's what I was thinking to myself. But back then, I didn't really know much and was just helping my mom and dad. I wasn't building my own network, just helping out on my mom's left and right sides. But then I started placing people here and there, and we went out together to the field. So what happens when you go out to the field? You have to help your partner with their initial performance, right? When I think about it now, I really regret it, but honestly, I think there are quite a few people here who are in the same situation. But is that person still here now? No, they're not. They're gone. In the end, they just became sacrifices for my dad and me. It's really unfortunate. That person really worked hard, did everything they could. They even brought 9 people to seminars and all that. So I think it was just a lack of experience. It's not like I intentionally wanted to ruin this person, right? They were full of passion, but it happened because they didn't know. So when your partners make mistakes or go through trial and error, it's not because they're doing it on purpose, but because they just don't know. I hope that through my experience, you can think, I shouldn't make these kinds of mistakes in the future. Also, when you're working on something, you might hit a slump. Slumps can happen, but you need to forget about them quickly. Do you know what happens if you keep dwelling in that slump? There really is no answer. So what happens then? You need to quickly catch the flow of things going well. You have to make a dramatic change. Whether you stick with a sponsor line that's doing well or join a seminar that's gaining momentum, you need to quickly shift yourself into an environment where things are active and moving forward. Because when I'm in a slump, those around me suffer too. Everyone is struggling. When I'm already having a hard time and everyone else is too, what's the result? This isn't easy. Maybe Atomy just doesn't work. Maybe it's not something just anyone can do. You start having all sorts of thoughts by yourself. So what should you do in times like that? You need to attend seminars where successful sponsors are, stick close to them, and absorb their energy. Do you understand what I mean? So, when you gather in a crowd there, you need to absorb the energy together, just like everyone else. If you don't, your business will completely die out. You understand, right? And the reason I can enjoy Atomy and stick with it for a long time is this. There's a drama I've been watching lately. Is it called Chairman Kang's Life? There's some drama, and it shows everything about company life. But as for company life, I actually haven't experienced it myself, so I only get to experience it indirectly through TV shows or through my husband. There are times when I just don't like someone. I don't want to see them, but what happens then? Do you have to leave? Do I have to quit? But since I need the job and I need to get paid, I have to stay, right? So what do you do? Sometimes people even have to take medication because of mental stress, right? But the advantage of Atomy is, since there are a lot of people in Atomy too, there will inevitably be situations that cause you stress. There's nothing you can do about it, everyone. Sometimes you just don't want to see someone. But even if you don't want to see them, there are times when you have to, so you do. Thank you. What if you have to see them every day? You get exhausted and can't do it anymore. So you need to set some rules for yourself there as well. Since you have to see them whether you like it or not, decide to see them once in situations like this and then once a month for Success Day. Set the rules, and for everything else, absolutely I don't touch a thing. No, that's how you do it. You have to set this up just as I know it. Right now, people are doing sales and saying thank you. What is it that people are doing? Closing deals, working at companies, doing all these things. In the end, people get stressed out because of other people. We deal with this kind of thing a lot, don't we? But even though I do Atomy and have over 13,000 members, why do I still look so refreshed? I set my own rules. If I feel uncomfortable with someone, then I just work with them on a business level. But it's hard to get along well with them. So I don't try to get along closely. Trying to get along well is what makes it hard for me. Don't do that. Why? Because this is my business. If my energy drops and I get exhausted, my whole organization will collapse. Why? Why do I get shaken? Because I have to survive. That's why you need to set your own rules. So even with my partner CEOs, there are things I really can't do. There are people like that. But I don't say, I can't do it. I say, then go ahead and do it. If I insist someone do it my way when they don't want to, they might agree because I'm the sponsor, but eventually I just feel down and exhausted. I start to dislike people. I start to dislike money too. I don't like people anymore. That's what happens. This is really important, everyone. But what is the advantage of Atomy? Since there's no membership fee with an entrepreneurial mindset and everything is connected, That means it's possible. To me, that's really attractive. The more people you have, the more you'll encounter people who really don't match with you. Different values, different personalities, different backgrounds, everything is different. But how am I supposed to match all of these metaphors? You can't get it right, then my energy will be depleted. Then even if you earn money, you might get tired of it because the person is exhausted. But my mindset is that if you enjoy your work, money will follow. That's how I worked. First of all, I have to really want to do it, no matter what. I've never done something I didn't want to do just for money, not even once. So I just never tried it. I once took a part-time job to make money, but I got fired because I couldn't do the work well. So I think I've always been someone who values my own enjoyment over money throughout my life. So when it came to Atomy, I realized, oh, since I'm the one making the connection, even if I don't get along with someone or feel uncomfortable, they don't leave because I'm helping them. That was the answer I found. So I thought, I can help them with business matters, but I don't have to be close with them. Once I figured that out, no one left and everyone stayed. This is really important, everyone. That's how you can survive. For me, it's always been about making sure I exist in the process. If you keep doing this without considering yourself, you'll eventually burn out. That's why my student at the age of 27 said thank you. Even though he kept working, preparing for concerts, and signing contracts, things still weren't working out. So what happens then? After several decades, burnout finally hit. Then he said, Mom, do I still have to keep doing this? That's what he was saying. Her son got burned out, so now he's traveling and doing things like that. But since I'm a singer, which is a profession that pursues a goal, there are naturally a lot of people around me who are chasing their dreams. There are quite a few people like that in my circle. Some of them have experienced burnout. They've been doing it for decades, but they haven't achieved the stardom or financial rewards they wanted. Neither of them worked out. And now they've gotten older. That's what burnout is. Meanwhile, younger people are coming up fast. So, because I know that all too well, I think it's the same with Atomy. You all are working at it, but it might take a bit longer for some of you. Someone who started later than you might succeed faster. But if I don't want to burn out, I have to find enjoyment in it. If they can do it, so can I, right? You need to have that kind of confidence. They just started not long ago and they're making it too. Then I can make it as well. Okay, since there's nowhere else to go, just let me catch one big break. Just let me catch one big break. This is the kind of mindset you need to have. That's how you gain energy. This is very important. Everyone, you need to replicate this. Even if you don't know anything else, when it comes to what you should replicate, you have to create leaders who can always stay centered and grounded in themselves. But as I mentioned earlier, having a strong personality doesn't mean you should make others do things exactly like you. A leader's role is to help each person bring out their own individuality. You get me? Let everyone express their individuality, not just copy me, or no one will follow. And when I give lectures, I often share stories as examples. But in this video, I'm sharing from my own experience. And sometimes when people watch my videos, if I don't specifically mention my partner, they might mistakenly think I'm talking about them. That's understandable, because when you go through these things, it's the same for everyone. But I always speak with an awareness of international viewers, because I don't travel abroad myself. So, since I often have conversations with business partners overseas, I sometimes feel like, oh, I should talk about this. Like, that's something I need to mention. There are many times when I talk about situations like this, but people in Korea might think, isn't he talking about me? They could take it that way. But some people might think, oh, he's talking about me and that makes me feel bad. But everyone, I'm not an amateur. I'm a professional. I know full well that my partners are listening to my lecture here. Do you think I would criticize my own partners and ruin my business? I'm not crazy. What is it that I keep emphasizing right now? I can talk about the people who quit. Through my trial and error, right? I always tell you it's a sacrifice hit. Indonesia, there isn't any. You're not listening. That's why I said it. They just banded together, but they didn't know how to work. But that can happen. Why? Because as I was running my own business, the process is really similar for everyone. People are the same all over the world. It's the same for me too, and I'm sure there are parts of my story that you can relate to as well. That means each of you is growing one step at a time because the process is honestly the same for everyone. So as I talk, sometimes, unfortunately, I might hit a sore spot for someone, and it feels like I'm talking about you, and it might be annoying. I understand that, but I hope you don't think I'm talking about you personally. Why? Because I'm not an amateur. Since I often talk about things happening overseas where I can't directly intervene, there are a lot of things that overseas partner managers need to consult about right now. Why? Because they're doing things on their own, and if they lack experience, I share my own experiences and their stories as well. If I don't talk to them about these things, it can actually be really tough for them. So after I listen to a lot of things from overseas, I think, that's something I need to talk about. And that's how I end up sharing those stories. So I hope there are no misunderstandings about this. For those of you here, I don't openly criticize anyone. You know, it's really frustrating. But once you've experienced it yourself, you'll understand. Just try standing in my shoes for a moment. Then you'll realize, that's why the director acted that way back then. There will come a time when you'll think, oh, that's why that partner still doesn't understand. And as the organization grows, problems are bound to arise. But when problems occur, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't prevent them, but you have to try to minimize them as much as possible. If you want to reduce problems, you always have to work with people at the end of both lines. For example, for the sake of this example, let's imagine that there is me, and then let's also assume that there are 4 other people, A, B, C, and D. Let's assume that A, B, C, and D are all proactive. Let's also say that on the right side, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all proactive, attending seminars, and everyone maintains their ranks. Then from my perspective, where should I focus the most? It's D and number 4, right? But as you do this, in my experience, even a single line tends to expand a lot from here. So it can be overwhelming. But since I have some leeway, I'm also a bit younger and I'm really good at diversifying my investments, so you don't have to worry about me at all. Last year, I doubled my money with gold, and luckily, I managed my husband's money really well too. I invested it straight into government bonds, which brought in profits and even protected against exchange rate fluctuations. So, at a young age, I've already earned what most people would make in a lifetime. But even if you could just live off what you've earned for a lifetime and never work again, if you just manage your money well, is that really fun? I'm just not the kind of person who finds that fun. I'm someone who prefers growth. Just making money grow through investments and only moving for the sake of money isn't fun for me either. There has to be some sense of achievement. That's what I find more enjoyable. Meeting people, accomplishing things together with them, that's even more fun for me. Fortunately, since I have passive income, I chose Atomy for that reason. I can fully support this without any worries. If my partners can start making money quickly, even though they're young, we can build a much stronger system of passive income together. I'm also diversifying my investments, so I'm actually supporting people on this side as well in my own way. This isn't easy, everyone. I'm not telling you to do it this way. If your situation allows, then you can try it. I'm doing it, but do you think I can go as far as connecting people to those here? Can I do that or not? That's a bit too much for me. Why? Because for those who are just starting out at the very bottom, it's really tough. So I have to focus my attention there. But since there are mid-level leaders like ABC 1, 2, and 3, even if I support a little less, it's okay because A will take care of it. But what's important here is, as I've always said, you need to manage the people at the end. What I absolutely never do is leave everything to A and just support A so that this person does all the work. Remember this, everyone. Do you know why? Let's say A is grateful. I provided support to the people below, but only through this person. Then A will act as if they're the one doing everything, right? If A acts like they're the one doing it, the partners below them, they'll be loyal to A? Oh, of course, they'll be really grateful. If they're supporting them and doing things like that, then later on, A might have a change of heart if they find something better, right? What happens if that happens? That entire line disappears completely. So my rule is always to show and emphasize that I personally manage the people at the very bottom. I support points for them myself. It's not that I'm abandoning you. You're my partner too. You are also my partner. I keep showing affection like this. But the more people you have, the more problems arise. And if it grows even bigger, like with Imperial, you could have millions of people. Then even among them, there will be people I can't support at all, right? Then you could lose everything there entirely. That's just something you can't help. So you know the limits of what I can do, right? All the way at the very end, right? Never support someone by leaving it to a leader in the middle. If I want to help a partner way down there, in that case, make sure to get that person's number directly and send it to their address yourself. That way, if any problems or incidents occur, you'll get reports from below. This allows you to handle issues quickly. This is really important, everyone. But usually people only do this for their direct line, so they don't know. If it's a partner further down, they just get swayed by whatever that person says. That's just how people are. You really need to manage people well. Otherwise, this organization that could just end up going completely off track. So what I did well was that I wanted to help even partners I couldn't directly reach out to, whether it was by sending samples or doing something else, So I get that person's number and always send things directly to them. Then I get a message back from that partner below. Oh, what a surprise. Director, thank you so much. That's the kind of message I get. So what happens to that person? Because those people stay, the middle leaders also survive, thanks to that influence. You have to believe in that. The sponsor's influence is such that even though I don't have the ability, they're supporting my partner. So this partner stays and keeps working. That's why the middle leaders aren't following me, but rather they're following and looking up to the sponsor's influence. So I can achieve things even faster too. So I'm joining the line of success too. This is really important. Everyone, as for leaders, it doesn't just happen by itself. So depending on how I manage things, it can turn out well. Do you understand what I mean? As you do this business, you'll see all sorts of things, right? We've said before that all kinds of people's behaviors and attitudes are just part of the compensation. The chairman already talked about that. When things get noisy, conflicts arise, and you get angry. What does that mean? It means the business is going well. It's because you're actually working on something that these clashes happen, especially when there are A and B. The biggest source of conflict is this. I registered a member here, and then A introduced someone, and that person turned out to be really great. This is where the conflict is the most intense. They're really great, but things start to spread out from here. But then A stops working, doesn't do anything anymore. From this point, huge conflicts start to arise. Wait, isn't this person A's partner? But I wish they would provide some support here. Seriously, am I the only one doing everything? But everyone, if you really want to become an Auto Diamond Master or Auto Sharon Rose Master, before blaming A, you need to change yourself first. What? You need to quickly train yourself to erase A from your mind first. Everyone, if this doesn't work, right? If you say they're not working and move everything yourself, right? No one makes any money. Then in the end, under you, even though we wanted time freedom and financial freedom, it won't happen. You won't get time freedom or financial freedom, and A might get upset and stop using the products too. And let's say A was introduced, but you only became friends in a half-hearted way. But A and the partner below are really close. Then A will start bad-mouthing you a lot to that partner below. Hey, that person is wrong. You know that person. They'll take away your whole line. Like, huh? Hey, don't do it. So what happens then? The partner below also gets confused. Oh, should I do this or should I not? Huh, what's going on? I was just about to start, so what's this? They said they were going to turn their back and go over there, but now it doesn't seem right either. Forget it. I don't want to do it anymore. It could end up like this. But as I told my dad, he joined me in his line, and because of me, his one line is completed. You don't need a lot of people. But what my dad did well was, it's not like he just stayed still and did nothing. Everyone, my dad was really good at supporting me. So I always tell you to do one of two things. If you can't bring in people, then at least provide some material support or help create an environment where your partner can work. I was able to do it because my dad helped me in some way. If my dad and mom had always been negative and like that, do you think I would have done Atomy? What do we call this philosophy? We call it baby philosophy, not cow philosophy. Are you going to treat your child like a slave? Of course not. When your child wants to do something, you help them out materially, right? In the same way, if you don't have the ability, just help as much as you can. If you can't do that, you should at least be there physically. And if you can't even do that, do you really think your partner will stay with you? They won't stay. These days, they leave even more quickly. Why? Because now if you just do a quick search online, you can find everything. So people will go to the leader who works hard? Then whose fault is it? It ends up being my fault. So never let your dreams be shaken or taken away by others. Hold on to them firmly and make sure you achieve them. This is something you have to accomplish. You need to take the lead and have your partners follow you. That's how you create diamonds. But to create diamonds, you first need to lay a solid foundation and achieve success step by step, right? There's no such thing as skipping ahead. That's why, since there's no shortcut, I'm doing this YouTube broadcast. And I want more global partners to listen, so they need to hear it under my organization. That's the reason I started this broadcast. And as I prepare a lot of lectures and work in the field, what happens? I end up growing the most myself. I'm the one who grows the most. That's why I can't help but do even better. You understand, right? You all can do it too, right? Or can't you? You can do it. Why? Because there's no membership fee. You will definitely succeed. Don't just understand that with your head, you need to feel it with your heart. Don't just grasp it as a theory. You have to feel it with your heart. Thank you. You must persist until the end and keep going steadily at your own pace. Honestly, there's nothing else like this. Those of you who run your own businesses, this is what my partner signups are saying right now. Director, where else is there anyone who helps you with your work? There's nothing like Atomy. That's what they're saying. So Atomy has a culture of serving others, a culture of sharing, and we have this kind of teamwork. But to build this teamwork, my partners, my team, always need to be happy and joyful so that I don't get stressed. But what do I need to do to make that happen? I have to be the one to change the atmosphere first. If I'm always asking, did you get some work done today? Did you do anything? How did you do it? If you keep doing this every day, what happens? Those people too, at first, they might listen, but after a while they start thinking, aren't they just taking my hard work? Why isn't my sponsor helping me at all? That's how it ends up. It's always the same. So let's always work with a grateful heart and enjoy what we do. As for me, I'll work even harder and push myself further to expand my influence. So please trust me and let's do our best here together.